Okay, I'm Kirsten Larson, and this is my informative speech. And here's my smaller than normal audience. My informative speech is going to be about service dogs. So think of your everyday routine and errands that you have to run, such as like going to the store or getting dressed for work. Now think of how many of those things you need assistance to do. For some people, the tasks that we find very simple are actually difficult or impossible to complete on their own. For people with disabilities, service dogs are a way to help them manage their everyday lives. Service dogs can help thousands of people live normal lives despite their disabilities. The Service Dog Central website states that 0.9% of people with disabilities have a service dog. This means that of the 40+ million Americans with disabilities, only roughly 360,000 are partnered with the service dog. Now, to understand the life-altering abilities of service dogs, we must first get into what they are and can do, and then we'll talk about their advantages and disadvantages. So, a service dog is, according to the ADA, a service animal is trained to perform specific tasks for a disabled individual that would otherwise not be able to do so. They can alert for help, alert the owner of a soon emergency to happen. They can alert of such as a seizure or a change in insulin level, which would make an emergency happen. They can open and close doors. They can mitigate, I'm sorry, I read it as migrate. They can mitigate the challenges of PTSD, autism, and more psychological disabilities, and they can assist with hearing and the vision impaired. Now, there's like so many different types of service dogs, but I picked 3 that were not the common hearing and visual. So we have a psychiatric service dog, which assists with things such as anxiety, depression, PTSD, autism, more of the psychological things. It's called a psychiatric dog. There's the medical alert dogs, which alert when there's a dangerous psychological changes such as the blood pressure, insulin levels. And then there's a mobility service dog, which provides bracing or balance for people who can't move around very well. These are also the ones that open and close doors, or they pick something up when it's dropped, or they retrieve things for somebody. So they basically just help with everyday tasks that would be very hard to do if you couldn't move. Now, now I want to look at those 3 that I just talked about. I have examples of what they look like because the different service dogs are identified by their different vests. Now this is a psychiatric service dog. This is the common patch for a psychiatric service dog. They can all wear the same vests. It's all by the patches. This one is for PTSD, and he has a patch saying he's a PTSD dog. This is the medical alert service dog, which he has a patch. And the medical alert service dogs usually have a pouch on their vest, holding either information or medicine. And the mobility dogs, you can see their things are much different because it's more about having a brace than having a vest. Some of them did have more of a vest look, but I chose this one because you can tell the difference. And that's that. Okay, now the advantages of a service dog is obviously to alert the owner or someone around them when there's an emergency about to happen or there is one happening. And there are some dogs that can actually help. Like there's dogs that can bring someone out of a seizure or that can apply pressure when someone is in like a panic attack to help them come out of it. And they provide companionship, which for people with psychiatric disabilities, that's a big thing for them. Like people with autism, it's good for them to know that they can bond to something because that's one of the biggest disabilities of having autism, or with PTSD, they need someone to bond with and someone to make them feel safe. Now, disadvantages. According to the Service Dog Central's website, cost of a dog is one of the main concerns because according to them, training just a seeing eye dog costs around $20,000. Now, most of these programs that train these service dogs are funded by charitable donations, so the cost is much lower, but it's still very pricey. The other disadvantage is care. For some of these disabilities, such as the blind or the mobily disabled, it might be difficult for them to keep up with the care of their animal. So it's an easy fix, just getting them a human companion that could also take care of them, but it is something that's a concern when they are pairing people with their service dog. Now the implications for medical implications would be that it cuts down on certain emergencies and potential death situations, which would go hand in hand with cutting down on the amount of medication that the person is supposed to take. And the ownership implications, there's limited availability because of the training costs and because of the people willing to train them. And then some of these dogs are still discriminated against, and some businesses won't let them come in even though there's laws for it. So if we were to raise awareness, we could let people be more understanding and not ban these dogs because they're needed. So now we understand why it's important to raise awareness and support for these service dogs. And in conclusion, service dogs are an important factor to the lives of many disabled individuals around the world, and by raising awareness about their significance, we can hopefully increase their availability and appreciation. Yay.